Man, I love this shotgun. Hey there, young buck. You ought to try out my shotgun. Hey, you know, put in a little, you see, you use too many of them Palmer guns. And back in my day, my daddy gave me this here shotgun. I killed my first buck with it. You see, back when I was a youngin', a wooden gun is all we had. And a wooden gun is a man's gun. Are you using a piece of rebar as a cane? What in the world? Back when I was 2 years old, and they gave me this here, and I bent it into a cane. This here shotgun, this is what my daddy gave me. As you can see, it's still in good condition because back in my day, we took care of what fed the family. And we don't care what no one thinks. We don't care about them attachments. All we cared about was the food on the table. Everything in my day was bolt action. Even the toaster was bolt action. Okay, back when I was growing up, you use your hands for everything. Now everyone's a sissy. You want to use your arms and then semi-auto. Hey, see, this here gun, this thing works pretty simple. You cock it back, and you just load your shell in, and you just load another shell in, and now you're full. And then, once it's full, you're good to go. All you need to do is push it forward, and now it's out of the mag tube. And all you have to do is cock it back again, and there it is. So back when men used to make guns, you see now a bunch of wimps make guns. You need softer recoil, softer shooting. But in my day, we just used the tool of the hand.
Chances are, if you watch this channel, you care about protecting yourself and you carry a gun. Well, you got to protect yourself online with the channel sponsor, Aura. So let me tell you about Aura while showing you my everyday carry. Have you ever wondered why you always get scam calls or emails or anything like that? Well, that's because of data brokers. Data brokers sell your information online without your consent, but they legally have to remove it if you ask them. But asking them would take an incredibly long amount of time, so Aura can do that for you. Aura will constantly scan the web for your information after you put it in, and they'll send opt-out requests on your behalf, which would save you countless time. I personally have received tons of emails saying my information has been removed from certain sites, and that makes me feel a lot better knowing that less of my information is online. It constantly sends me alerts of information that it finds online. One of the big ones is definitely my email. It's constantly found on certain websites or things you sign up for. I haven't gotten a scam call in a long time since I signed up for Aura over a year ago, before they even sponsored the channel. And I've used their VPN all the time, things like that. Back when I was in the Army, I got my identity stolen. I had a whole bunch of fraudulent charges to a couple of my accounts, and I didn't make them. And when I went to change or see what the transaction was, it said that my password was changed, not by me. So back then, if I had Aura, that probably wouldn't have happened. I didn't have any money that they could take anyways. But that's my everyday carry, as you see here. Well, Aura is a lot more than that. They have a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and more. US-based support available around the clock if something goes wrong. If anything does happen, they offer $5 million in identity theft insurance, which I don't know about you, but I do not have the credit for someone to rack up $5 million, so I'm pretty much good forever. They also have US fraud experts ready to help 24/7, which for all that, for what you're paying, is the reason I've kept Aura for over a year, and I'll cancel a bunch of other stuff before I ever cancel my Aura subscription. It's just one app, one payment for all this protection. And that's why I highly recommend the channel sponsor, Aura. I never leave myself vulnerable, as you can see, out here or on the web. That's why I use Aura, and that's why I got all my stuff removed off there. So I highly recommend you check them out at aura.com/povertyarms. It'll help us out too. But you can try it for 14 days totally free before they charge you, and they don't charge that much, so I highly recommend them. But thanks again to Aura, and back to the video.
All right. Well, can you even shoot it? I mean, yeah, you don't look so good there, Pops. I've been shooting this thing longer than you've been alive. Of course, I can shoot it now. I'll tell you right now. Yeah. All you do is get a platform, rest it on. They're pretty easy. See? And there's dinner. I just got us dinner.
All right, well, what do you want me to do with it?
Well, I want you to make a video with it. That's what I want. Test it out. These guns fed America. And I want to see them highlighted by a whippersnapper like yourself. Nobody really cares about the old guns that we had. Everybody got them newfangles and whatnot. But I believe that you can appreciate a piece of machinery. You know. So here you go.
All right, well, I'll test it out. Where'd he go? What in the world? Well, Grandpa Joe appears to have handed me a 16 gauge bolt action JC Higgins Sears Roebuck shotgun. So I guess we'll test this thing out. Right off the bat, it's pretty light and it's pretty cool. The action is extremely smooth. Yeah, I feel like I could work this really fast. I guess I have 5 16 gauge slugs, kind of hard to come by, but I have a ton of birdshot, so we could test this thing out, see what it's capable of, see if there's any benefit to using this over a pump action. So as Grandpa Joe pointed out, you have to open the bolt and then you load it basically like a pump action, like kind of like a traditional shotgun, where you just load it into a mag tube just like this. And I gotta say, this is really smooth too. I'm starting to kind of like this thing. Nope. I mean, it just glides right on in there. And now your chamber's still empty, so when you close it, it's still empty. There's nothing will happen. So then once you cock it, you can see it's right there. So let's test it out. Oh, I think we got it too hot. Got one stuck in there. There we go. That was pretty smooth. Let's see if we can hit at distance. I'm gonna grab some slugs, and then I'm gonna see if I can hit some pigeons with it, because it's got absolutely nothing but a bird or a bead sight on there. Let's see if this thing's any good for bird hunting. Alright, so we're about 75 yards out. I get these Brennecke Classic Magnum slugs. These are absolutely wicked slugs if you ever hunted with them. You know. Let's see if we can hit that steel out there with these things. Bit to the right. Not too bad though. Oh, quite the kick for 16. I mean, in case you're not familiar, 16 is almost as big as 12 gauge. In fact, most of the weights are almost the same. It's just slightly smaller. It is not much of a difference. That was pretty cool though. Alright, now we're going to see how this thing can bird hunt by shooting clays. So I had the spirit of Grandpa Joe throwing my clays here. Let's see if I can hit him with this thing. Alright, pull. Alright, it's a bit difficult to get used to. Let's try that again. Alright, pull. What the heck, Grandpa Joe? I know you got arthritis. Put down the cane and throw it. Alright, pull. Smoked. You know, it is pretty light, so it's easy to acquire the target. Well, let's get a nice high shot here. And let's see. I'm going to get some more ammo. Alright, let's get a couple more, see if I can get good at this. Pull. Ah, I was just over it on that one. Alright, pull. You need to go take your medication again, Grandpa. Alright, let's see if we can get this down. Pull. Well, look at that. We hit 4 out of 5. Pull. This thing is super smooth. I love shooting it. Alright, let's try one more. Pull. Well, overall, I think it's actually a pretty good gun. One of the pros of having a bolt action shotgun is, you know, you don't have to move your left arm when you're cocking it or anything. Instead, you can just, you know, work the bolt with your hand like this. because if you're resting it on something, you can't have a pump action. So I feel like that's one of the biggest advantages. It is really nice that it's super smooth. I mean, you can see how fast I can work it. But ultimately, I do think modern shotguns are better. But if this is all you got, it's definitely not unarmed, if you know what I mean. So hope you liked this video. Hope you liked Grandpa Joe's appearance. And we'll see you next time.